Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel.
So we thought we'd just kind of make a Q&A video for you guys. While we were traveling, we got quite a few DMs on Instagram or comments on our YouTube videos. So we thought it would just be easiest to kind of take the most common questions that we got and answer them in this video. So if you don't know or haven't watched any of our previous videos, we did about like a 4-month backpacking trip in Europe, and we spent like a month and a half in Greece, and then a month in Italy, a week in Slovenia, and then a month and a half in Croatia. So the first question, which we got quite a lot from even our friends back here, is how much did this trip cost you? And this is a very, very tough question to answer, I feel like, and it is the most common. We definitely tried to be more on like the more budget side.
It was pretty expensive. Europe is expensive.
Europe isn't like the cheapest place to go to, obviously. We didn't go to some of the most expensive countries in Europe, but I think even though we don't really know the totals of what we each spent, we were tracking at the beginning quite a lot, trying to stay on budget to make sure that we could go for the length of time that we wanted to go for, but I think by the end
got scrapped.
We didn't really pay attention as much. We knew we could get home, and that was kind of the main thing. So as a rough estimate, I would say that we were probably spending 40 euros a day. At least that was the goal that we were trying to attain. There was lots of days in some countries where we were under, but that was only usually under by like a couple euros. We were still kind of in the 30s probably. And then there was obviously some days that we were over as well.
But that obviously was us holding back a lot of the time. Which you probably picked up from videos. It wasn't us being like, oh yeah, let's go out for supper tonight and the next night and the next night. It was a lot of our own cooking like that.
I would say that Greece,
a lot of walking.
Oh my gosh, so much walking. We did not take the public transit just to save a couple of euros so that maybe we could get a snack that night or something like that. But it was still good. We did spend the money on things that we really thought were important, but it kind of put it all into perspective of like, if we didn't want to do it so bad that maybe it just wasn't in our budget to do. And we always found something else to do. Like, we were always having a good time. So it's not like, I don't feel like I missed out on like a whole lot of experiences. We just saw the countries in a different way, I would say. And Greece and Slovenia were very easy to stay under budget, I found.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely.
We were eating out a lot in those two countries. Italy, we made a lot of our food.
A lot. Like all the time.
Like all the time. But we were also staying in hostels, so we always had access to a kitchen and stuff like that. And then Croatia too. It was kind of a mix because that was nearer to the end of our trip. So we were eating out a lot more, but like maybe we shouldn't have been.
Yeah, probably.
But it's fine. We made it home, so it's all good.
So the next question we have is, do you have any tips on how to plan what you will be doing on your trip? Well, like you guys know, Robin and I kind of planned Europe last minute. It wasn't the original plan. So we were kind of winging a lot of stuff. But we did know that there were some landmarks that we really wanted to see, but we weren't, until we were in the area that activity might be in, we weren't really like, oh, this is the bus we have to take or the boat until we were there. You don't have to really stress yourself out because things are gonna change all the time unless you're someone that needs that. But that might just stress you out more if you're trying to be super organized that way.
I'd say we had like a rough estimate of like things that we wanted to do. So like, for example, in Greece, we knew that we wanted to do the mainland before we went and did the Cyclade Islands. And we kind of had some spots that we wanted to hit, but I think both of us were pretty open to that. If we last minute got a suggestion of something that we had to go see, we would change our itinerary to go accommodate that. It was mainly like we had like a tentative route in place just in case we weren't given suggestions, so that it wasn't like we spent so much time on like, oh, now where are we gonna go next? Yeah, but we didn't actually really plan anything that we were going to specifically do and see at each place until like the location before, or maybe our first day in that location. So that was kind of last minute, but yeah, we just mainly planned like big things.
Yeah, and it worked out really good.
Yeah.
So I don't think you have to stress yourself out too much when you're planning stuff like that. Moving on. Next question. Any regrets on things you did or didn't do? Okay, so maybe it's not as big of a deal to me or us. I don't really think either of us are super bothered. We did a little trip to the Vatican City. We saw that there was like something to go see there, but it was like 25 euros to get in. So we were like, absolutely not. We're not going to go see that. Why would we spend 25 euros on this attraction? But like, later on, we were told that it was like it's pretty important. Like a lot of people go specifically there to see the Sistine Chapel and Michelangelo's like art and all of these things. So it probably would have been really cool to see since we were right there anyways. But at the time, we don't really do a ton of research. We just kind of go out and walk and see things, and usually we're just viewing the outsides of things. But I think if I was to redo it, I would probably go in. I did have 25 euros to spare, so I probably would have gone in there, next time. Next time.
We got a lot of grief for that when we got back.
Yes, we did. But I think we're okay.
We're okay. It wasn't like super important to us specifically. I just know that, it is like something to see, and it is super cool, and the art is beautiful, but next time.
We'll be more aware next time.
We'll do more research next time.
I think another big regret for Robin and I was not going to see the Dolomites. We had been talking about it. Even when we were in Greece, Robin had brought it up to me, and we were talking about all of Italy and trying to figure out how we could make it work. Everything that we needed to figure out to get there, and money obviously was a big issue to go there. But the transport, just in the wintertime, made it even harder. So it was just too bad. We had to take it off of our list. And I think we definitely have to go back to do that.
Because that was something that was like on our list even before we went to Europe, is like, okay, we're going to Italy, we have to go to the Dolomites. Like, that is so high on my bucket list. But like, realistically, when we were planning it, we were like, we can't afford this at the moment. If we were traveling with like a bigger group of people, and like we could have maybe split the cost of a car, that would have probably been the easiest way that we were finding when we were researching. But like, split between two people in Italy is still pretty expensive. So that was just something that we couldn't do. So I regret it, but it's not like we could have changed a whole bunch. Unless we had like a lot of under budget days, but that wasn't happening. So it wasn't something that we could do in this trip, which was super unfortunate.
So we'll go back.
And we'll do that with a couple other friends.
So the next question is, how far in advance were we booking things? So we're gonna take that like hostels, Airbnbs, transportation.
I think for accommodations, we were booking like the location before. So that was only usually like a couple of days.
If we knew, I feel like in Italy, places would be filling up a lot faster, and travelers would tell us that. So if we knew we wanted to stay at a certain hostel that someone had recommended to us, maybe look into that, or be checking every day, because you could wake up one morning and they're gone. So
because I know we wanted to go to the same hostel as a friend that we had made, Janine, you guys all know her, in Italy, and she had booked a hostel in Rome, and we're like, yep, we want to stay there. I think we waited like 2 more days, gone. It was all full. So So sometimes it does pay, like if you kind of know your route, to book a little bit in advance. I just wouldn't book too far in advance again, so that you can change plans if you need.
Yeah. Or at least book like your first 2 nights there, and if you know you're gonna, or if you want to stay longer, then you can book it right when you get there, hopefully. But just to initially like get your foot in the door there, that's good.
Yeah.
And then with transportation and things like that, it was kind of, we would be booking that in person when we got to the place that we were going to be departing from eventually. Because then we just found from, I don't think did we book anything online? Did we book a boat?
We booked, the only thing that we booked online was the overnight bus that we took from Zagreb to Dubrovnik. That was our first time booking online. We just like booking in person because then you can talk to an actual human being. Yeah. And especially when like the language barrier is a little bit like not there, like knowing that we showed them directly on a map where we wanted to go and they figured it out for us, that was really comforting.
Yeah, super good.
But like booking online worked too.
Yeah, the booking online worked fine. I also, this might just be me, but I love having like the physical ticket in my hand. I love it. So like getting that from someone, I'm just like,
nice.
No one can delete this from my email. Like I have it. So we did notice with transportation, I think it was cheapest to book, 3 days in advance? Yeah.
Because then it kept going up like €5 every day leading up into the, like when you were leaving. Because we were like, oh, we can book the day before. And then we were looking at the prices like maybe 4 days before. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like €10 more expensive than it was like when we were looking at it online. So I think 3, if you can do it, is kind of the sweet spot. Yeah, because I do know, or most, at least what we found, raised their prices 2 days before and then also a day before and the day of. So
if you know, do it.
Just do it. We really tried to like book it 3 days in advance. It didn't always happen though, but
unfortunately, there were a couple times, but most of the time we were on it, so that worked out good.
All right, Kay. The next question is there anything you wish you would have known before leaving to your countries?
Oh,
you probably would have just watched my unpacking video, and hopefully you've watched Narissa's unpacking video too. We do have one thing that we wish we would have known.
Yeah. The weather.
In Canada, where we're from, you think of Europe, you think of hot, you think, well, not like tropical hot, but hotter than you know, the winter that we were experiencing. So we did pack a wide array of things, I would say. But getting off that plane,
that was awful.
And being like, oh, it's kind of chilly. Like, I'm kind of cold right now.
And we're like in denial, like, it's nighttime. It'll get better in the morning. No.
Like, I think Narissa honestly left before things got, like, hot.
Yeah. Like, I think I might have had a handful of t-shirt days.
Yeah, like, but my last, like, 2 weeks, like, pretty much after she left, I was, like, hot. It was tank tops and shorts, like, every single day. I think we had 1 week where it was, like, 27. So that was, like, the Europe that I was picturing, like, just so hot, even before, like, we get our hot weather in summer. But, no, January, February was cold.
Very cold.
I feel like those... in the places that we were traveling, those houses just don't retain heat.
No.
Like, we would have the heater running all day long, come back and it would still not be hot.
No, it would not be hot at all.
We did do our research.
We totally did.
It's not like we just went there guessing on what we thought the weather was going to be like. No. Google told us it was going to be between 15 to 20 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
And that's t-shirt weather.
Yeah.
And that was for February.
That's t-shirt weather for
sure. I was thinking, by March we were in shorts.
No, we were not in shorts.
But other than that, I felt pretty prepared.
Yeah, I think we were pretty on it. Next up we got, did we feel safe as 2 young girls traveling together? Yeah. I think so.
I think so.
I was trying to think about times. Like, obviously at night we were always alert.
I can't really think of anything. Like, there was obviously, we stayed in quite an array of like different places. Like, some were really large cities, some were like smaller towns. Sometimes we just happened to book a place in an area of the city that a local like wouldn't actually recommend to us. That happened once, and we were like, oh good, oh great. But no, we never really felt unsafe, which was really nice. We know that doesn't happen for everyone, but I think we were more aware because we were two females traveling together as opposed to having a male with us. Not like we need one, but you know, it's just usually some numbers help you. And I know there were some places that like people are a little bit more timid of, like for example, like in Italy, I would say not as many people go to like Naples as they do to like Florence or Venice and stuff, because they maybe hear that it's a little bit more busy, maybe pickpocketers are a little bit more frequent. Like, those were some of our favorite places, honestly.
Absolutely.
Like, the places that people were maybe a little bit more timid to go, like, we absolutely loved. So I wouldn't let that kind of hold you back from like going to any place. And if you are a little bit more nervous, just travel with a buddy.
Yep. Exactly.
Or if you're a solo traveler, like, go out with friends that you make at the hostel. Like, there's always people to like go and do things with. Okay, so this next question we got a lot, usually through our DMs, and I think it's kind of a question that most people have, especially if they're like a solo traveler or if it's their first time backpacking. But is it easy to meet people or make friends in hostels? Yes. It is, for the most part, pretty easy. Most of the people that we met in hostels were wanting to meet other people, like would want you to come sit down and visit with them and learn more about them. Like, the amount of times we just kind of went off with strangers at the time to go do things. Like, it's just kind of the normal for backpacking.
Yeah, I think that's the goal of whatever hostel you're staying in. They always have like an area designated for like hanging out and meeting people. So that's always an option if that's what you're looking for. But it's also an option to take your day to yourself if you need it. But definitely an awesome place, and probably the easiest place to go meet people.
Obviously, there was times where we kind of needed to recharge a little bit, and you just kind of go to your room. People can get the hint. If you don't want to socialize and you kind of just want to be by yourself, like, people are generally good at reading that too, so they will respect your space for the most part as well.
Yeah, that's what we experienced.
Yeah, which was nice, because especially when you're traveling for a long period of time. I personally cannot be social every single day of my life.
Yeah, same.
I need some downtime. Yeah. So I found that hostels with curtains were the best.
Those are so good.
For like times where it's like, I just need to be by myself because no one can see you. You can just be like napping or watching a show or just like scrolling through social media, catching up on what's going on back home. That's just kind of nice to have sometimes too.
Okay, so we are at our last question for you guys today, and this question we got a ridiculous amount. So much all the time from friends, random travelers that we met all the time. Our family has asked us multiple times, I think. But it is, how the heck did you guys get along while you were traveling
for that long?
Because we were gone a long time.
We were gone a long time, and there were so many people that we were chatting with at like hostels. When we said, like, we're friends, we're traveling for like however long, they're like, oh my gosh, like my friend and I had to leave each other after like a week or two. And I was like, oh.
And that was multiple times.
Multiple times.
You hear horror stories of people like separating and then they're never friends again and they don't speak to each other. You're like, what?
Yeah.
How are you planning a trip with them then? I just can't wrap my head around it.
Like, you're obviously friends for a reason. So like, But I guess like traveling, like you are with each other like 24/7.
Yeah.
So like you really get to know the person. Yeah. I think I was a little naive going into it. Didn't even think of like any possible way that it could go wrong. No. Until people started asking us, and I was like, oh, maybe.
But what?
Like, I was like, oh, I really hope that doesn't happen. I didn't realize that did happen. because I don't want to travel by myself for the rest of my trip. But no, for the most part, honestly, it was really easy.
Yeah, super easy, and like, yeah, we were together all the time. But we always had our little moments, like if Robin would wake up 3 hours before me and go get coffee. So she always had like her time, I feel, like, to herself.
Or like even like when we were doing YouTube stuff and it takes a couple hours sometimes to edit the video. So just like having my headphones in and that's what I'm doing. Like not feeling like you need to socialize all the time. Yeah. And like obviously everyone has little quirks. Literally everyone does. So being accommodating with those two goes a really long way. Yeah. Like if you're traveling for that long, you're gonna have little arguments, or not even arguments, but like disagreements, but you know that you want to keep traveling together, so figure it out, move on.
They were resolved pretty darn quick. But you never see us like screaming at each other. Never. No. Of course we I guess we would maybe disagree on little things like, oh, where should we go first? Like, but like,
what do we want for supper?
I'm leaving you. I don't want to go there first, Robin.
No, for the most part, I think it was really nice because we have a lot of, like, we obviously have different interests, but we have a lot of the same ones. So it was never, like, or there was very few times where it was like, I really want to do this, but what this is super expensive. And I need you to pay for yourself as well. Like, that never happened, thank goodness. Yeah. Because I feel like that would kind of complicate things. But even, like, chatting with your friend or, like, whoever you're traveling with before and just having those expectations of, like, what's important to you, what's important to me. Because you may only be in that place once in your lifetime. So you don't want to stop the other person from doing like opportunities that they might not get to do again, which is why like Narissa went on a Game of Thrones tour and I was like, no thanks. I'll see you afterwards.
But that didn't stop Robin from going to Dubrovnik or anything. Like it was, we always compromised on stuff and it worked out really good. But we did have that chat before we went traveling. Like we both sat down and said what was important, and I think that went a long way.
It was good. It was really good. We had an awesome time. We're still friends, obviously. So like everything worked out.
Yeah, that was our.
that was. I mean, that was all the questions that we had. We took the most common ones, obviously, that we were getting. We didn't want to make this video so terribly long, but if you do have any questions that we actually didn't get to in this video, comment down below, and we'll do our best to kind of answer all of those.
Okay, so this is where we are going to end this video. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. We hope you guys enjoyed kind of watching all of our travel adventures.
Yeah, this is going to be the last video of this kind of Europe adventure that we went on. I mean, the last video that's kind of associated with it. So we really hope you guys enjoyed. I mean, obviously, we had so much fun making all of them.
Okay, so next week's video, we're going to have a big announcement for you guys. So stay tuned for that one. You won't want to miss it. So we'll see you later. Okay. Oh my god. I am a girl because I'm like sticking to the couch. What was the question? All the pieces that we needed to do to put it all together. Oh, yeah, sorry. Oh my gosh, my eyes, you guys. Okay, sorry. Bye. Bye. Oh, yeah. So bye. So bye.